get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad. Shut up.
Hey, wrestling fans, it is Thursday. You know what day it is. It's the AEW review on the Heel of the Ring podcast. This evening, I've got a awesome pair here. Let's say hello to Heel. Heel, what's up? All right, as Heel is muted, let's say hello to Pete.
What's going on, guys?
All right, Heel, one more time.
Hey, what's going on, guys? And I might have botched, but not as much as something else we're going to talk about later.
Well, yeah, I actually botched the tag. I put AEWE instead of AEW. Yeah. It happens when you're trying to talk about a Tony Khan product. You just botch it everywhere. Botch. You know, when you think of botch, you think of AEW. So let's get right into it. AEW, the world champion, CM Punk, the interim champion, Jon Moxley. The card is all over the place, everywhere. Battle of the Titans, Godzilla, King Kong, you name it, you got it. And all of a sudden, we get a promo with Chris Jericho trying to confront his protege, Daniel Garcia, in a face-to-face. Boy, I haven't seen a face-to-face since people trying to get their food stamps renewed. Pete, what's your thought of the food face-to-face there? Heel, what you think about the face-to-face?
Great words, Pete. Yeah, I like that comment. Yeah, I actually really like this. Daniel Garcia is doing a great job here, actually. And I like the whole storyline they're telling, which is like, what are you, Daniel Garcia? Are you a sports entertainer? Are you a wrestler? You know, what are you? You know, and it's I like this whole storyline actually going on in, with the wrestler in AEW. This is something AEW should have been doing the whole time with their wrestlers. Like, what are you? You know, what kind of company are we? What kind of wrestler are you? You know, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm really digging this storyline actually, and it's something that Chris Jericho also is perfect for. And yeah, I can't wait actually where this leads to.
Now, Pete, this promo was a little bit long-winded, like about 10, 12 minutes, and then finally Daniel Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call himself, this night comes out here. What was your interjection with him in there? Ultimately, I got a theory obviously, he comes out, they cut the promo, and it felt like they pushed Garcia to the side. Like, all right, move over. Now it's just now we got the spotlight. And I felt they overshadowed Daniel Garcia. Like, he was an afterthought because it ended up leading them getting face-to-face and throwing jabs at one another, Pete.
Right. So, obviously, this is going to be leading to AEW All Out, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. But, you know, this promo was actually, it's kind of a little emotional because it kind of goes to show of Daniel Garcia of who's he really going to side with. Is he really going to side with his hero, Bryan Danielson, or is he going to side with his mentor, Chris Jericho, with the sports entertainment? But by the looks of it, of him shoving Chris Jericho to the floor after he grabbed Daniel Garcia, it kind of goes to show that most likely there's going to be a face turn by the looks of it, and we may see Daniel Garcia probably join Bryan Danielson's faction, which is a
Blackpool Comic,
possibility.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is also good for AEW because they're actually focusing on new talent, like Daniel Garcia, who
did it though? Because it ended
I-
up
they-
with those two at the end.
they are, because it's giving Daniel Garcia like the rub. You know what I mean? It's giving him a little bit of shine because I imagine this is Daniel Garcia in there with. Let's be honest. Someday these Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho are going to end up in the WWE Hall of Fame. They just are one day. We all kind of just know it eventually. Yeah, go
ahead here.
Yeah, and the fact that Daniel Garcia gets to be in the middle of this storyline is a great thing for him. So yeah, if I'm Daniel Garcia, this is a huge thing for me. It's just a matter of, am I going to deliver now? This is his make or break moment in his career, arguably.
If I was Daniel Garcia or I was booking this, I would interject myself in this match. I say, hold on. You're my idol, who I just went face to face with, and I beat you, blah blah blah. And you're my mentor, which I don't like your antics, and I'm a sports center, and you want me to make a choice. But I thought he came out weak. I can't make a decision now in front of people.
It kind of made him look like he was the smallest in the room.
It did.
Yeah, because it kind of seemed like he was a little bit shy on the mic. Like even though he cut that promo like a week before against Bryan Danielson, now it kind of seems that standing between both of his idols, like I'd understand he's probably like a little bit shy on the mic.
Did he look like it's like he got in front of a mirror and says, "Whoa, I'm Daniel Garcia. I'm standing in front of Jericho and Danielson." I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed dude, you belong. The moment was too big for him. And instead of being a triple threat, I'm gonna show your butt, because they like to use explicit. I'm gonna show your ass this. I'm gonna show your ass. I'm in this match. I'm gonna show you. Blah blah blah. But no, instead we end up getting a custody match.
Right.
That's what it seems like. It's a custody ladder match, between these two, which is not a ladder match. I'm being a joke. I brought that up.
The custody of Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's
yep.
So I don't know. Do I want to see Jericho and Danielson? Absolutely. These two guys are great athletes. Both, even Jericho at 54. And that's going to be a hell of a match. But I wish Garcia I would have liked the triple threat. Long story short.
Yeah, like I said, we're just gonna see where this keeps going. Right now, I'm okay with Daniel Garcia being a little bit conflicted. I can understand the critique of him coming off a little bit shy on the mic or like that, but I'm gonna let this story marinate a little bit. Give it some time to soak in, and hopefully, they advance his character some more. Although, my little saying. Please don't get that over, or else Tony Khan, for some reason, whenever you're a new wrestler that gets over, he likes to put you on the back burner. Just don't get that over. I don't know why.
I actually like the fact that Jericho says, you consider me the best wrestler in the world? Like, please, I like the fact Jericho took a little bit of exception, a little jab there, and Jericho has, when you want to talk about resumes, Jericho's resume is phenomenal. Of course, next to Danielson, but I think Jericho, so I really love that part with Jericho. He had me. That's why I want to see this more. That's what kind of hooked me. I want to see this match between you two because, to me, Jericho's the first undisputed champion when WWE decided to merge the belts. That night. So Jericho is a good go, man. I'm a fan of this age of Chris Jericho. I got 2 bottles of champagne sitting there without opening. Well, hopefully I get it signed one day by him. So I'm a fan. That's why I'm a mark when it comes to Chris Jericho. So I'm interested in that. I want to see this match. I want to see the storyline. I really I don't know where it's going, because I know he tells Bryan Danielson, watch your back, and all out before here to all out, and Hager comes and bam, he nails him, attacks him. So Hager gets involved, so that's interesting. I'm surprised no Blackpool Comic Club. No one came out to get his back.
And they only come out if there's violence.
Yeah, I'm surprised that at least not one person to come out and be like, hey, let's stop the fighting or something like that. But yeah, other than that, like I was fine with how things went.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes there. The next segment there, we'll go to the next fight on the card, was a real good one. It was Dax Harwood taking on Jay Lethal. Now, FTR is one of the most over tag teams in all of professional wrestling, and we know Jay Lethal's work, Jay Lethal's body of work. Like him or like him, he is a very entertaining wrestler. All around cross promotions. And when I saw this match, I said, "Oh, I'm one-on-one." It was a tough one for me because Dax is so hot right now. To have who's actually going to take the pin, who's going to lose this match, because Jay Lethal's been losing a lot of matches, and you got to give him some kind of credibility, some kind of winning streak. You can't always be losing and jobbing. And this match was phenomenal. Pete, tell me about this match, Dax Harwood, Jay Lethal. What was your thoughts when you watched that one?
When it comes to Dax Harwood, and it's going to be a very nice technical match. And Jay Lethal, I always give him credit. I've watched his work from when he was in TNA and then Ring of Honor as well. I love this match. This match was very great. I love that roll up that they did at the end. And he managed to grab onto the tights for the 3 count. Lethal getting the win right there, and it was very nice, especially that little moment there where they did that trade while Sanjay was on the side of the rope, almost bumping into Lethal. Like, whoa, it was very close, and then luckily Jay Lethal managed to pull out that win. It was a very great match. I loved it.
Yeah, that almost knocking Sanjay Dutt twice there. I thought, damn, this is where Jay Lethal's gonna get pinned by Dax Harwood. And neither less, no. I like the fact that the heel is gonna win here, or the least crowd favorite with the hooking of the tights. To me, you don't. If you're Dax Harwood, you don't lose any heat because they had to take the heel to. I thought he was gonna either hook on the ropes or the classic heel tactics. I'm okay with it. I'm still looking at and I'm still invested on this 6-man trio match we're gonna get at All Out. So I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I know one lost heat. I'm glad Lethal got over the way he did. I was good with the outcome. I was very satisfied with the outcome. Heel, what was your thoughts on the whole outcome?
I'm one of like Jay Lethal's like biggest fans. So as soon as I saw him on AEW television, I was like, yes. And to be honest with you, he needs to be on big time television. Like Jay Lethal is one of those wrestlers. Like I remember when he first signed with Ring of Honor, I was like, okay, I'm like, if that's where you want to be, that's good. But you belong on a big major promotion like New Japan, WWE, now AEW. I'm like, I'll even accept NXT. I'm like, to me, Ring of Honor just kind of felt below him. Because everyone views Ring of Honor, at least I do, as more of a, I guess you could say, almost there kind of company. Like you're still a rookie, but it's kind of like AAA, for wrestling. So I just never felt like that for Jay Lethal. So to see him in an AEW ring, I'm like, yes, this is where he belongs, the main roster, so to speak. And to see him against Dax Harwood and to see everything play out the way he did, I was happy for Jay Lethal. I'm like, let's go. I'm like, and this is where I was actually invested in everything going on. This, I got that high from Jay Lethal winning, so I was like, I'm in. I'm invested now in this show. Granted, the promo at the beginning was really good too, but this really hooked me.
Right.
Right.
And especially after the match. The match concludes. Jay Lethal gets his hand raised in victory. We have Sanjay Dutt making an announcement. Now Sanjay Dutt gets on the mic, makes an announcement. There's a change to Jay Lethal's partners. Sanjay Dutt does want nothing to do with the ring, and the big guy, forget it. The big guy, he sucks. We're announcing that he will be joined by none other than the Motor City Machine Guns at All Out. We were like, whoa, I just saw them wrestle on the Ric Flair card, the Motor City Machine Guns. Good for them. I was like, wow. I was like even nicer. But man, to get your first match with Warlord and that TR, ooh,
yeah,
that's a tough one. Go ahead, Heel. What do you when you saw Motor City Machine Guns?
I popped. I was like, wow. I'm like, this is what are we going to, like TNA 2008 now? I was like, either way, I'm on board with this. I'm like, man, if only we could sign those Generation Me guys, though. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I kid, but yeah, I was popping hard for this. I was like, let's go. I'm full on board with this.
Yeah, Pete, surprise for Motor City Machine Guns going to AEW with all the turmoil that is on the dirt sheets. I know money talks and BS walks, but it's surprise or
Yeah, I
interesting.
was pretty surprised that Motor City Machine Guns actually showed up from out of nowhere. I was like, wow, we're going way back into the early TNA when Jay Lethal was there, and them being both in Impact. I was like, wow. So we're getting that little bit of Impact versus AEW type deal right there with the 6-man tag team that will be at All Out. I was like, wow, I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and especially Alex Shelley. I'm actually surprised that they went to AEW with the success on Logan Paul. With they are natural cousins. They are cousins. He actually helped train Logan Paul a little bit of peek behind the curtain. Although it's a secret that is not hidden. I think everyone knows that, and I'm surprised that they didn't offer him WWE a contract. You put the Motor City Machine Guns in NXT for now. That would give them a big pop, but I'm happy. I'm excited to see Motor City Machine Guns in this All Out. I don't know if it's a one-time deal, because it might be a one-time deal, because boy, Impact Wrestling, if they lose them, they're gonna take a hurting. We mentioned it yesterday that the Gallows, the Good Brothers are not on the contract. They will be leaving shortly, and now you lose Motor City Machine Guns, possible, and they're poaching Impact Wrestling. So I don't know if this is a one-time thing, but still in all, I do not want to see the Motor City Machine Guns. I love their match on the Ric Flair card, last match, and I'm just invested. So I'm glad they did that for All Out here. You're giving me something. So you're giving me Jericho taking on Danielson, and now you're giving me Motor Machine Guns winning a 6-man with Jay Lethal against Warlord and FTR. So far, 2 good matches. To a card that's only a couple days away, about what, 10 or 14 days, let's say, roughly, before the card to be here, and you really have no matches really announced. You don't got your main event, but you're giving me some good nuggets there. I'm like, ooh, okay,
Yep.
so it's investing there. So it's good to see there. We'll see what happens there. We move on here. Prior to the next match, we have an announcement. And prior to the match coming up, we have an announcement from Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa announced due to an injury that she will be stepping down as WWE, AEW Women's Champion, and an interim will be in place. So back again with the interim nonsense. Heel Thunder Rosa, luchador, women's wrestling. I was disappointed.
This is where I was like, awkward. I'm like, it's ironic because later on we all knew it was gonna happen, and now you're gonna have another one. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is awkward because like either this is ironic booking, or is this like what? I'm like, just a lot of things are going on in my head, and I was like, I hope this is just a work or something like that. That Tony Khan was like, man, wouldn't it be ironic if since we're replacing one, we just have another one? But sadly, that's just wishful thinking. But yeah, I hope she recovers fast, and we're gonna have another interim champion. Woo! I guess.
Yeah, Pete. Before I throw it on to you, guy, because you're my fact checker here. There's been rumors on the internet that this is a cool down. The injury, they said there's conflicting stories. Said she was injured on dark taping in Orlando on Sunday, and why do you have your champion in a show that no one really watches on the internet? In a dark, why would you have her there to do those bumps? Secondly, she has some heat with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, where she broke her nose and they cannot stand each other. Booker's, one of the lot of main conflicts and anarchy that's happening in the locker room is these two ladies are just at each other's throat. But Pete, give me your sources, what you heard and what you saw. I've heard of the Thunder Rosa injuries.
I'm thinking that there. I'm thinking that there has been a rumor floating around that she actually probably isn't injured, and that I believe it was from the other women's wrestlers that they've been having conflict with, that Thunder Rosa has been having conflict with, like from the people, from the what was it, the sandbagging, from the matches that she does sometimes. And I have a feeling that there's a possibility it's not an injury, and it could probably be a suspension.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, because she's, her match with Maria Shafir with the sandbagging, that was a terrible match. She's got a reputation there. It'll be
Correct.
interesting tomorrow night for tomorrow. Yeah, cheap plug. And I know we, busted open podcast or busted open on the City of Satellite Radio. Fight Nation, she hosts on Fridays, and this is interesting to see if she will be there to host alongside with Bubba Billy Ray and Dan and LaGreca. Let's see if she comes on, because she hosts on that like Mickey J's on Wednesdays. I'm not sure. Shout out to them. I'm a fan of the show. They're really entertaining. And it'll be interesting to see if she's there. Will they speak about it? Will they touch the subject? But I doubt it, because they just But Bubba don't go. Bubba Bully Ray doesn't hold punches. He will ask, but I don't know if we'll get anything out of it. But we'll see on that. I think, I hope it's not a work. I hope she really is injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's not a suspension. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope that it's an injury and that everything is fine. Hope she is all right, and all out. We're gonna see that interim title somebody's gonna be crowned. Which I'm thinking, if you want to give a little prediction, I feel like Britt Baker is probably gonna be back on the scene again.
It looks like it, because here I'll take they would later. It was later announced. Let me see if I find it. I don't have the graphic, do I?
I do have the match card for
Yes.
All Out. It will be Tony Storm versus Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter and versus Haku Shida for the four-way match for the interim AEW Women's World Championship.
Now it's interesting to see. I know she was the first AEW Women's Champion, but she hasn't been seen, and she hasn't even been. Supposedly, there's a ranking system in AEW, right?
Correct.
All this ranking system and this, and that's why don't bullshit a bullshitter, Tony Khan. Seriously, enough with that. Enough with the rankings and what matters. I don't want to jump from the rails, but you put her in there. Why not? What happened to Ruby Soho? Game changer from the WWE. Ruby Soho was booked so wrong. I'm gonna show Vince, and meanwhile, Liv Morgan is holding titles, and hosting pay-per-views. Meanwhile, Ruby Soho is gonna fight with, no disrespect, with Ortiz. Looking like a bunch of drug addicts from Third Avenue. Seriously.
Yeah,
You get the peek out the reference.
yeah. Sometimes you even forget she's a thing in AEW, because like when you think of AEW, you immediately think of like Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and then you're like, oh yeah, Ruby Soho. That's right. Almost forgot about her. Yeah.
Put her in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Ruby Soho's run when she first showed up, it's just been bad. Like they haven't really pushed her in any way, and going back, that ranking system that they have is they should just toss that out and throw it in the trash where it belongs, because if you want to take it way back to like the beginning of the summer, FTR was #1 contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships when the Young Bucks were Tag Team Champions. So it kind of goes to show that they weren't really following the ranking system at any time. So they should just get rid of
Warlord.
that.
Even Warlord, when he it just get you.
Yeah, if wrestling cared about ranking systems, then man, a lot of underdog stories would have never happened.
And only that, it's scripted. What the hell are you doing a script a win-loss record? Who cares? It's scripted. It's whoever the crowd who sells merchandise, who people want to see. It's going
right.
to be. That's it. I thought the whole concept was different, yes, but was like, really? Does it really have any merit? I mean, it's something different for the marks, but I thought it was just, it's just me there. But we'll see there. We'll see
Hey,
for the ladies.
let's just say this and make it clear for the AEW fans. If you want to see wrestling and sports come together, there's a company out there in Japan called New Japan. Go watch that. It's really simple.
And then here's another thing to wrap up the women. So what the hell's going on with Jay Cargill? She can't get a shot at the women's championship at an interim basis?
Apparently not.
I forget about some of these women because, again, they all look the same and they all sound the same for the most part, besides like really, really few.
Hello, Maria. Maria's joining us there in the chat.
Hey, Maria.
Yeah, we'll see with that, how that goes there. Personally, I was like, I would have, if you're not getting Ruby Soho, Jay Cargill, or number one contender for Battle Royal. You got a lot of women that you don't get to see. Why not to give us a women's casino Battle Royal, like they like to call it? I never see a casino with a Battle Royal. So if you are, I'm a little sketchy there, But give us a Battle Royal for the number one contender, match, the way they did with the men's. Give us something similar. Stay with a consistency. Oh, they did it for the men, they'll do it for the women. I like the Fatal Four, don't get me wrong, but then it opens up, like we're having this debate. Who is well deserved? Who's the fourth lady well deserved? Does Jamie Hayter really deserve to be there? Because she already lost to Thunder Rosa, So it opens the Pandora box of what if. And I'm one of the champions. Heel knows, and you're gonna know, Pete, that I say AEW has a lot of good women wrestlers that they could showcase.
Yes.
They don't showcase them enough, and then I want to see more of them. Look, one of the tag teams that I wish they get the hell out of there and they come to NXT is the Renegade Twins. I'm a big fan of the Renegade Twins. I think they got some it factor, but they don't get enough exposure. They're wasting, their ladies are wasting their time there. Get them out of there. Other ladies in there that could get it. It's just a frustrating because it's always 9:30 spot for the women or 9:20. Give me 10-minute match, all sloppy, whatever the case, botches, whatever. And then you're going to get a Jay Cargill promo after that match. She's just going to just curse the storm, look like a mean, she's going to look like a bitch. Pretty simple. And okay, we'll go to something else. And that's it.
Yeah. I just feel that pro wrestling in general they have a hard time booking women's matches. I just feel like they don't really get themselves involved way too much in women's matches. Like, at least for WWE, they're actually doing something, and they're working their way to help revitalize the women's division, as they're doing with the women's tag team division right now, but for AEW, I see that Tony Khan has been having no thoughts about the women's division. As you see how Thunder Rosa's title run has been, she barely defended the title when she won it, and you saw that you wouldn't even see her do any segments on television. So it kind of goes to show that they're not really focused on the women's division, and they're just focused on what everything else is happening. So it's been a problem since the beginning, and they got to work on that.
Not only that, when's the last time AEW has had an emotional title run? Like, you know what I mean? Like that nice, and I hate to say this, but that Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston type of storyline.
Barely. It's been a very rare occurrence.
This is the problem that they have. This is the problem they have. You can't say, we were all complaining about Paige. The chase in AEW to get the title is the most phenomenal chase that they could do. They know how to book that. They the chase for Adam Page, the chase for Moxley, the chase for Thunder Rosa. That chase to get initially the title is phenomenal. Once they get the title, I think that Khan is way over his head, which he should rely on someone to help him. It's okay, to get help. It's okay to, spend, instead of getting after every other swinging dick that NXT or WWE drops, try to get yourself someone who's going to help you with the storyline, creative. And it doesn't have to be one of these wash-up bookers, get someone with a fresh mind, who is in touch to help you and trust a confidant, and try to go and get these. You can't blame Adam Page, you can't blame Thunder Rosa. That's two wrestlers. You telling me that they put the titles on two people and they both going to give you the same result? You got to look at who's booking it already.
Right.
Look at the TV title now. It means like it's crap right now with Warlow. All this hype, all this chase. Warlow now, where is he? He didn't even wrestle in the card.
Yeah. When was the last time Warlow was on TV?
Exactly.
Yeah.
These guys, they get the title. Okay, you get the title. Go, get away.
At one point, Warlow was arguably the most over guy on your wrestling. I said,
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if you get over an AEW, it's like a death sentence. At least if you're a new guy. Yeah, at least if you're a new guy.
Well, let me bring in Earl. Hey, Earl, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and welcome. I just came home from work, and I'm preparing for tonight's my show, which is the Wrestling Experience.
Yes.
Tonight we go live at 7:50 Eastern Standard Time, except out in the West Coast.
All right.
And we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight because we're gonna be discussing AEW Dynamite.
That's exactly what we're doing right here. We were just talking about the title run, the booking of the title runs on the wrestlers. On right now, the chase is phenomenal for the AEW for a Page, as we were talking about Thunder Rosa actually. But once these achieve the mountain, get on top of the mountain, it's like the booking. You don't hear from them no more. The chase, it's like the balloon gets deflated once they get strapped with the titles. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you have to understand something, and there's not enough time for booking or anyone else, and that is AEW's problem. They need more time on television to make these people feel prominent, like Thunder Rosa and other people. They're being left on the cutting room floor because they don't have enough time. And then another thing too is with AEW that is a problem, is that they don't let the storylines marinate. You gotta when you give a storyline to an audience, you gotta let them marinate it. You gotta let them take it in. You gotta let them analyze it. You gotta let them overlook it. It's just too much storylines in the pipeline. You're shooting this storyline, then you're putting this storyline out, and you do it's too much. It's too much data for everybody to just do it like that in a rapid fashion. So
okay,
they're having issues, and those issues have to be addressed very soon, because the reason why I said this is that because WWE is nipping at the heels of AEW. WWE now is turning around their product. They're finally turning around their product. They are finally opening their eyes, and they're finally listening to what the audience is saying to them. So you have to change your product in order for you to keep up pace with what's happening, because I'm telling you, what I saw on Monday night and what I've been seeing for the past couple of weeks on Monday, AEW should be worried. They should be worried, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Now let me say this. Let me say this real quick. For a new Tony Khan, not that experience. Like we know that, right? He's just a new owner who likes wrestling, loves wrestling. No regret about it. As much as I personally don't like the guy. I don't know him. I just don't care. But he just got to give it a nice kiss. Keep it simple, sucker. I don't want to call him stupid. I want to keep him simple, sucker. Keep the wrestling simple. And I think if he goes with that monoline, keep it simple, I think he could put a good product, because he's got fans and an audience that wants to follow it. Just keep it simple. Go ahead, Gio.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Earl, at the beginning of what he said, I think AEW's problem is the opposite. It's not even the fact that they don't let stories marinate or like that. If anything, it's the opposite. As soon as you are into a story, it's almost like they take it away from you. Like, look at the MJF promo. We were hooked. We were ready. We wanted to see what was this going to develop into. Then they just took it away. And now it's like, you know, it's almost like when your mom promises you, you know, you're gonna get like a cake or something like that the next day. You're like all excited, and then your mom's like, "Oh, sorry, you know,
Well,
I checked the savings or whatever. Now we can't get the cake." So like, "Aw, you know,
yeah, yeah.
same thing with Warlow. It's like, oh, we're excited, you know, Warlow just got out of this, you know, major feud at MJF. Now he's over. Oh my God, we're so excited. Where is this going to lead Warlow? Is he going to be world champion? Is he going to be this or that? It's like, no. As a matter of fact, we're going to take him off TV. Like, you're only going to see him probably like maybe once a month. And it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We can't get that either. Oh, by the way, the new talent that you want to see, like Hook, you know, Darby Allin, like that. Yeah, you're gonna get to see him for a limited time too. It's like, no, you don't get it. We don't like as much as we appreciate guys like Jon Moxley, even CM Punk and all that. We want to see the new guys. We want to see Danhausen. We want to see Hook. We want to see Wardlow. We want to see what you have to offer. We seen what these other guys can offer. We seen them in other products, and it's cool for them to get involved. But you got it all backwards. We want to see AEW. We don't want to see, you know, WWE 2.0. We don't want to see WCW 2.0. We want to see your product. We want to see AEW. We want to see these guys that you got, you know, like you know, Tony Starks. Sorry, Ricky Starks. You know, we want to see these guys.
But it goes back. It goes back to what I just said. It goes back to what I just said. They don't have enough time on TV to put these people on prominent roles. That is what their problem is. It's time management. They don't have enough time to put every storyline that you want to see on AEW television. If they had enough time, like if they did a 2-hour Rampage and they did an extra, maybe an extra hour just to squeeze in Dynamite. I mean, because there's just so much storyline that they squeeze into Dynamite for 2 hours. It's a lot to take in. And that is the problem. That is when you don't have enough time. Things that you think are important get left on the cutting room floor, and that is the issue. That is the issue.
Let's hear from Pete here. Pete, you've been here.
You know, I just feel like that. You know, most people will probably say, "Oh, but wait, they got AEW Dark and Elevation that." You know, they'll showcase the new talent there, but it's like, no, nobody really watches Dark.
Well, I do.
Like that. They don't watch Dark and Elevation like that because, you know, they don't want to see the, you know, as like just an average viewer, they want to see the main show, Dynamite, maybe Rampage at sometimes, but, you know, they're not really doing so well with the time management. They gotta build up on that time management, you know, just keep it simple, but you know, they gotta figure it out.
Yeah, and Earl, I know you said you do, and I mean, you're literally an itty teeny polka dot bikini minority that does care about AEW Dark, like literally.
I know,
yeah,
I know.
Literally, we are being real with you. No one cares what happens with AEW Dark. Even when they show the results, I'm like, I don't care. You know why? Because what happens on TV, like, I care more about what happens on Rampage than I do Dynamite. Because why? It's still the it's on TV and it's still the SmackDown to, you know, Dynamite's Raw. And on top of that, if you don't have enough time, then that's Tony Khan's fault for keep hiring talent just for the sake of hiring talent. You should know, okay, we have this much hours to fill. We have this many wrestlers. Okay, then. This is what I gotta do. I gotta hire this many amount of wrestlers, so that way I can make sure the wrestlers that are supposed to be on TV, you know, stay healthy or like that. And whenever these wrestlers need to take like a break, I can have these other wrestlers come in and fill it in for them, and you know, start wrestling and make sure my main guys stay healthy. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain, you know, strategy when you run wrestling business, and that's one of the strategies. Because when you overdo it and keep hiring talent like Tony Khan is, eventually, like everyone here knows, everyone starts to get lost in the shuffle, or you just don't know where to book people, or you just run out of time. And that's where Tony Khan has gotten himself into. He's gotten himself in such a big pickle. He doesn't. I feel like he doesn't even know what to do anymore with the talent he has.
Well, I think he does know what to do with it. The problem is, again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, the bulletin that's on the wall is the memo pad of time management. You have to know what's important, who's important, and what goes on television and what gets left on the cutting room floor. That's what he has to do. He has to start looking at his roster and say to himself, who do I think will be a good draw and who is not a good draw? And the people that are not a good draw, you put them back in the file cabinet. And the people
that are
But he's
not.
not.
No, that's the issue. That's the problem. That is the problem. That is the problem. That is the problem.
We shall see there. Let's continue with the Dynamite Dynamite review. We know that's an issue. Well, we could be hours on that.
Right, exactly.
For a newcomer in Tony Khan, the honeymoon is starting to come off, but so he's got to baptism on the fire. Learn, sink or swim for him, but we'll see. We'll go to the next match, which is Billy Gunn versus Colt Gunn, father versus son. I think they jumped ahead of WWE because we all want to see Dominic turn on his father. But I'm thinking, man, Billy Gunn, Colt Gunn, a match like that should have been more for All Out because it's father versus son. That's a big deal. To me, it got a little bit lost in the shuffle. Billy Gunn looks phenomenal at his age. Colt Gunn, the match was really good. I kind of funny that I saw Colt, trying to hurt where he came from Billy Gunn's loins, but he gets the victory on his father. Of course, Billy Gunn is going to put over his dad. Naturally, which father will got to be nuts not want to put over your son. And the match was okay. It was fun. It was good. You saw Acclaimed come out with their rap. Acclaimed is one of the most over group in all of wrestling. Pete, tell me about this match. Did you enjoy the Billy Gunn, Colt Gunn, father-son? Although it didn't feel, it could have been bigger, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it could have been bigger. I mean, match was only just about like 6 minutes, so it was just like a little small thing. I did like how, what was it? Trying to figure it out. Hold on, I almost messed up a bit. My bad. Yeah, it was forgot the manager's name for
Stokely Hathaway. We could call him Michael Bivens, the former Michael Bivens. Stokely Hathaway.
I guess you can say Malcolm Bivens went ahead and used that boombox and hit Bowens and stuff, and that was pretty crazy, especially but match was okay. I mean, I kind of disagree with you how it should be on All Out, but it was an okay match. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to build really around it now, since they have the Gun Club now with Stokely. So it was okay. It was all right.
I think Stokely's trying to do what he did with Diamond Mine. Same exact. I was watching, prior to it, and I think he's doing the same exact thing. Be a mouthpiece, getting a facet there, and getting them over like major the way Diamond Mine is in NXT. That's just my opinion. He'll give me your thoughts on that match and all on.
Yeah, I would normally agree with you that this should have been on All Out, but the problem is Billy Gunn's like 50 years old.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and when you're in a company like AEW that heavily relies on like good in-ring work or at least wrestling fast pace, that's not going to age well, no pun intended, Billy Gunn's case. So and if they do decide to do something at All Out with these teams, it's done to be either a tag team or like a 6-man tag, probably something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who would team up with the Guns though. I forgot their name though. Colten and what again?
Colten and Austin.
Colten and Austin Gunn, yeah. I know I was gonna team with them, but it would have to be something like that. But so it makes sense to have it on TV. And on top of that, I mean, come on, it's a good way for someone to tune in and be like, "Wow, Billy Gunn's in AEW? I didn't know that." Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. That's
So
yeah.
So yeah, it made a lot of sense, and it was a good and fun match. I really have no complaints about it, and yeah, his sons have a lot of potential. And matter of fact, I just see them being like a big deal in the future. I'm not gonna lie though, I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, what if I told you there was a catchphrase that for some reason is over with some hardcore fans, where it's called like you put your finger like this. I told the whole thing. She's like, okay, I'm a little bit scared. I'm like, yeah. Then you go like, scissor me, daddy, like this. She's like, no, I'm done. I'm sorry. That's so bad. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's cringy, but it's over somehow. Yeah.
We saw Stokely Hathaway get interfering, doing some housekeeping there, and they just started beating the crap out of all the Acclaim. Out comes Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, but first Swerve Strickland comes out like a house of fire, and Keith Lee, with zero fucks care given, walking
Waddling.
wobbling. Now, Earl, were you surprised that they're gonna give the Acclaim a tag title? They're over, but wow, against Keith Lee, and that's it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested here. What was your thoughts?
I had no issues with that whatsoever, but I respectfully, Kevin, I respectfully disagree with you. This is not pay-per-view worthy. This match was Dynamite worthy. It belonged on the show. It belonged where you have to know something. There are certain matches in wrestling lore and in wrestling genres. It doesn't matter whether it's Impact or WWE or whatever. There are certain matches that you have to look at on paper and say to yourself, you have to sit back and say to yourself, is this pay-per-view worthy? And if it's not, then you know right then and there, this is television worthy, but this is not pay-per-view worthy.
So let me tell you, father and son, Mysterio, Dominic and Ray, you think that's not pay-per-view worthy?
No.
I'll defend Oro. I'll step in here and say that's different because we've seen Rey Mysterio really go, and on top of that, that's his WWE style, which is a lot more slow place. I'll just say that, and then.
Well, no. I agree with that. Yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that assessment. But this was not pay-per-view worthy. This would be, if you would have put this on a pay-per-view, this would be a bathroom filler match.
You need cool down matches. You can, that.
I mean, you could do a cool down match. You can do a cool down match, but the match has to be on a entertainment level where it does not put the audience to sleep. So you have to have some kind of like chemical balance in the whole thing, and so that is the only reason why I say that. Other than that, the match was okay. I had no issues with the match whatsoever. I thought it was good. Stokely Hathaway interfering and coming in and hitting the boombox. I had no issues with it. It was okay. I mean, it was what it was. Was it entertaining? Yes. Did the audience enjoy it? Yes. Now, did it get the audience on television hopping? It probably did. So, it was okay.
It checked all the boxes, but the enthusiasm wasn't there. But we shall see what happens with the tag team titles going on. Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland taking on the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn in their corner. Billy Gunn could manage them right to the top, but I sometimes think I'm thinking that the Gun Club is going to cost Acclaim a title opportunity or retain. We'll see how we move on. We get the women's match coming up. Kleina King versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD Earl.
No, you have to do it right. You have to do it right, because on my show, DMD. It is a must.
But when you
talk about her, you have to say Dr. Britt Baker, It is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
And you gotta remember, you're on the Heel of the Ring podcast. And if you're not down with that, when we tell you got 2 words, just subscribe.
In the great words of the Miz, you're on my show. My show. Yeah.
But you can adopt it. It's okay. You can adopt it.
We don't
we're originals. We're trendsetters.
Yeah. You can adopt it. You can adopt it and have fun with it.
Earl, stop. Just stop.
Yes. Wait, Earl. We normally don't do this to guests, but we have to. We have to do this to you.
We have to.
And yes, we have to. You know what happened right now?
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
I love you all. You all are too much. I love you.
Yeah, man. We're good to have you, man. We appreciate that. But give us this match. Give us your assessment on these ladies' match. And besides, it wasn't the 9:30, 9:20 spot. They actually were in the crossover hour. Wow, something different. I enjoyed the when they put them there. Yes, Raheel. Bravo. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I thought the match was okay. I like Kylan King. I think that everybody was like, how come Tony Khan hasn't signed her? I'm not sure why that is. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I said I don't know. I can't answer that. You're gonna have to speak to the man himself. But other than that, she's good in the ring. She's not bad as a wrestler. I like her. I thought the chemistry was okay. Britt Baker wins the match clean. I thought that was good. I like clean finishes in matches. I don't like anything botchy-watchy or glitchy-witchy or anything like that. So the match was okay. It was decent.
All right. But Pete, talk to me about this. We saw Dr. Britt Baker taking on Albert Fire 2.0. Talk to me.
Well, yeah, it was an easy win for Britt Baker because they gotta make sure they promote the match at All Out. So I mean, I gotta give a little bit of respect to King. She did a little bit of offense, but she wasn't really a threat there. But since they're promoting the match at All Out, it was kind of predictable that she was gonna lose. But the match was pretty good. It wasn't I wouldn't say perfect, but it was pretty good.
Heel, I know you. Did you watch this match in fully, or did you go get that jelly donut or the sandwich?
No. I watched the match in full, and then I saw Kylan King try to put up a fight, and then when I saw Britt Baker won, I kind of did like the Austin Powers meme in my head, where it's like, "Whoop-de-doo, Basil." Yeah. So it's like, but yeah, all in all, it was okay, I guess. I can't really give this match a rating because he's pretty much since Kylan King you tried, but you didn't really succeed. Yeah, so yeah.
I know this was a setup or get over for Britt Baker. Do you see AEW keeping King going forward? Because or does she want to stay and get a long-term contract? I mean, if the money's there, why not?
If the money's there.
Yeah, I think if the money is there, then, why not? I mean, if you could sit down and negotiate something with her and, ask her, like, what is she looking for? What does she think she's worth? And then, go from there, figure out the numbers.
She fits the bill. She's tall. She can wrestle. She's got the look.
Yeah.
She's not tiny. She's not tiny. I would like to see more of her, to be honest with you, than either Kira Hogan or Red Velvet, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look at look at Layla Hirsch. I mean, she's tiny but lethal.
Right. But I really, let's see. We'll see on that there. And we'll finally get to the big spot that they talked to, from Busted Open all the way to all the other programs. And we all summer, the summer of Punk, he gets injured. We get the interim seeing Jon Moxley doing some matches in GCW where guys are putting their hands in their crotch and giving kisses, and we get the undisputed AEW champion taking on the interim champion Jon Moxley. And before we go forward, I just want to let everyone know we're getting into September and it's becoming pumpkin season. We're gonna have pumpkin latte, pumpkin pie, pumpkin matches. We're gonna have squashes. Now,
plus, it's also my birthday.
Look at that. Another day walking the earth. Another year walking the earth for Earl. So for
Happy
now,
birthday,
more wrestling to watch. More wrestling to watch.
Yeah.
Indeed. Pete, hype up this interim title match. Go for it, man.
Here we go. This match starts, and they stare each other for 2 minutes. They stare each other, and they keep staring, and they keep staring, and then we go into a little bit of a tussle here and there, going back and forth. Then they beat each other into the corner, and then the roundhouse kick comes in, and he holds on to his left leg.
Yeah.
Now, for people that are complaining that he was grabbing onto the wrong leg, let me be clear. The leg that he held was the correct leg because that was his plant foot. As he turned it, that means he aggravated it. We don't want hearing he grabbing onto the wrong leg. He grabbed onto the wrong leg. Oh, he sold the wrong leg. This, and that. He grabbed onto the right leg. He sold that injury that he had because as he pivoted his foot and hit him with his right, and he grabbed onto his left, it shows that, hey, I'm still injured. So as we're going on throughout the match, Jon Moxley immediately clotheslines him, picks him up, hits him with the Death Rider, goes, puts him on his leg, starts to elbow him, then picks him up for the Death Rider again for a 3 count, and the match was only 8 minutes, including the introductions.
Oh, okay. I was to say, I'm like, there's no way this match is 8 minutes.
Without the introduction, I would say it would probably been around maybe 4 minutes, around there.
3:49. I put on the stopwatch.
3:49.
Wow.
As Don likes to say it, this has been a definite squash match. This has basically destroyed the entire run of CM Punk. No more, since the summer is basically almost over. The summer of Punk is over. Now, Jon Moxley has now become the undisputed AEW World Champion. And man, I'd say this match was bad for both. Bad for Punk because I'd say this was his only defense. And bad for Moxley because, well, his defenses, well, it was his time going through the indies and GCW. We don't like to really talk about that much. And, you know, it was just pretty bad. I mean, yeah, we know it's a story build. We probably might see CM Punk probably come back for All Out. Who knows? He may get his rematch, maybe not. But overall, this match, storyline wise, for the storyline, it was okay. But the match itself, it was lackluster.
Yeah, heel. I know you have bowel movements longer than that match. Talk to us about it.
well,
No comment.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, so when I saw this match, I looked at the time and I was like, really, it's time for the main event or whatever. And then I was like, I think at the time it was like 8:10 my time, and I was like, really? Are we really gonna get like almost an hour match between these two? I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. I'm like, this is your world championship match. Like, let's get to it. I'm ready. I'm pumped up. You know, like my mind completely went blank of like I don't know if anything was like there was I even forgot about the trios thing at the end. I was like, let's go. I'm like, I'm down for this. I'm like, I don't know if everything's getting rebooked, whatever. But let's go. You ready? You ready? Let's get it on. You know, and then literally as soon as the bell rung and the match happened, I saw CM Punk go for the kick. He got injured, and then I just thought of the Peter Griffin meme.
Yes, me too. Me too.
So I had to send it on Twitter and got like a few likes. You know, it's like me. I just thought of CM Punk. And then yeah, like I was just like, wow, this is horrible. And then literally, one of my friends posted a meme from the SpongeBob where it's like Squidward looking out the window, and it's Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley be like, yeah, it's Squidward. I was Squidward, that's SpongeBob and Patrick, because they're both undisputed champions, and Seth Rollins be like, I want to join. I want to be an undisputed champion. I'm like, and I even tweeted, I was like, this is one of the worst world championship matches I've ever seen, at least in a while. And then I started having people tweet at me like, well, there's some that could come close to it. I'm like, yeah, there are some, but this is easily one of the worst that I've seen, at least probably in the last like 5 years or so. Because like, think about it. I'm like, you have CM Punk like coming to basically get his title back, and Jon Moxley basically trying to become, like we said, the undisputed champion. And you're gonna do us like this? Like, I really hope this isn't a work, because if it isn't, at least you have a good excuse behind it. But if it is a work, which I'm pretty sure it is, then this is just flat out laughable. I mean, people wonder why people have so many problems with this company. This is it. This is this company in a nutshell.
This really reminded me of Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar at that one SmackDown. He just won F5 and 1, 2, 3.
It reminds me of the finger of doom.
Yeah, the finger of doom.
Yeah, this was the kick that CM Punk should have never threw.
Man, listen, this is one of the most enjoyable matches since UFC 205. You know, for me. Because I love UFC 205 to seeing CM Punk getting the shit knocked out of, and he loses this match. To me, phenomenal. Everyone knows I'm not a big Punk fan, but I loved it. You know, now I don't have to watch UFC 205. I can watch this.
Yeah.
Let's give it to our guest, Earl. Give me the state of this title match here. Are you done, Romeo? By the way,
I'll just say this, Red Jester. We're not getting MJF. Don't get your hopes up. Okay, we're talking about AEW here, by the way.
No, but let's give it to Earl, our guest here this afternoon. Give us this title match, your opinion. Where does AEW go from here? I'm going to give you the pen. Earl, you're going to be our fantasy booker. You're going to be now in creative. You're going to be elevated. Give us what you're going to do here. Fix this.
Well, unfortunately, guys, I cannot comment on this main event because
it wasn't
you're going to have to tune in to my show in a few minutes. I am not going to expound upon this match. I have a lot to say about this match, and it is going to be very spicy. So, if you want to see my comment on this, then you have to tune into my show. But I will say this before I leave, that this match was absolutely one of the most head-scratching, one of the most head-turning, one of the most weirdest thing I have ever seen. And because I said all of that is because I had to do some investigation. And I had to dig deep in myself, and I spoke to many sources and many people and many things, and I came up with my own surmise. So, based upon what I'm going to say, just tune into my show tonight. Me and Christina Rivera, we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss it, and we're going to spill some tea. because this isn't good for AEW. This is a black eye for this company. It's not good. And what I'm going to say tonight is not going to be good either. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
Ooh.
So I'm not happy with this, and I will discuss it on my show tonight. Trust me.
All right. Just don't get caught digging in the light. That's embarrassing.
So. No, no, my friend. No, I don't do light. I bring everything out to the surface and I set the table. It's up to you to sit at it and eat.
All right, nice, awesome, Earl. Good job there. We'll tune in the wrestling experience. We'll put it here on the community board for those who are watching us. You check it out. We'll see his rant. We can't wait to see it. Hopefully, it's in a Caputo level rant. We'll see.
Oh, if we catch Caputo ranting and then you ranting, we're gonna put you side by side and we're gonna ask fans who did it better.
Yeah. Earl knows who's Caputo.
Yeah. I watch that watch along, man. Woo! Bacanti spice.
Yes, indeed. No, we definitely appreciate it. You want to stick for one more? We're almost completed there. I don't know how long you have.
I have until about 7:20. So
right, let's go this real quick. After that, it's tough. To me, it was a little bit tough. You got the balloon deflated. Even though after the match, Ricky Starks cuts a wonderful fighter promo, recalling him, bringing Our House back to the background of Big Baker's segment at Stardom. Yes, he's an issue. He's in the challenge at All Out, but it got lost in the shuffle. It was a hell of a promo. I personally love Ricky Stark. I'm a big Ricky Stark fan. Everyone knows I've been talking about him months, and it kind of got lost because you're like, what the hell is going on with AEW? Did we, and it just lost in the shuffle. Ricky Starks, that promo. Well, did you agree or I do want to see him because it's Ricky Starks, just me. But
yeah, I like this, but this would have been a perfect time probably for MJF to come back. Like, if I'm being honest with you, like, probably have Ricky Starks complain about his spot or something like that, or even do exactly what he did and then have MJF come back. But as we all admit, we're all just dreaming and we're all just fantasy booking ways to come back because it's MJF. Why not? But yeah, look at that. Poor guy will probably never see an AEW ring again. But
he's not allowed to be mentioned on AEW television because Tony Khan had sent out a memo to all his broadcasters, and if they do mention CM Punk on the live telecast, they will be fined $2,000.
MJF or CM Punk, Earl?
No. MJF. They're not allowed to mention him on television. They're not allowed. He has been erased from AEW roster and everything else. And if you mention him on television, you will be fined by AEW. So they're not allowed to talk about it. And he's been off television now for months. We don't know what's happening with this situation. We don't know what's going on with it. No one is talking about it. Khan is not talking about it. Management is not talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. It's like he never existed and they're moving on with the company. So
yeah.
So MJ Benoit is no longer around.
I want to call him Benoit. He hasn't gone that far. Let's sell your oil. Let's sell your oil. Yeah. Oh.
I mean,
yeah, the guy has heat with the company.
Oh, Bruno. They call him Bruno now. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, okay. But anyway, yeah.
Pete, tell me about that promo, Ricky Stark. I love Ricky Stark. What about yourself?
Same here. I love Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, man. I would rather watch a 30-minute segment of just Ricky Starks talking on the mic than what I just saw with that undisputed title match right there.
Same.
To be honest, I'd rather listen to Ricky Starks talk than watch that match because this match, it was very emotional. He had a lot of heart, and especially talking about, bringing back that neck injury, how How he's, from Team Taz gone, and then losing the title, the FTW title, and then Powerhouse Hobbs hitting him directly where he got injured. It's very emotional. I can't wait until All Out, because hopefully during that match he gets his revenge and wins. But this promo, loved it. It was great. I love to hear from Ricky Starks. He always has that emotion, the way he talks and the way he brings all the crowd together. Like, I love it.
All right, Earl. I'm gonna give you the here. You tell me what direction. You can elaborate on the Ricky Starks promo since you got to go, or you want to give us your thoughts on the Trio Tournament, Death Triangle, Will Ospreay. Your choice, my friend.
No, I will give my last opinion on the promo.
Okay.
The promo was great. I love. See, this is what wrestling is all about. When you cut a promo, ladies and gentlemen, when you cut a promo, you got to have three elements to it. First of all, you got to tug at the heartstrings of the audience.
Right.
Then you have to. It has to make sense. Then you have to connect with not only the audience but the storyline itself, and it has to be interwoven. It has to be interwoven into the whole storyline and the whole thing, so that you could take the audience on that journey of how this whole thing got culminated. So all of that was rolled into one in this promo. It had passion, it had story, it had fluidity, it had chemistry, and it brought the audience on board. And that is what a promo should do. That's the way you do a promo. You don't do it half-ass. You do it correctly. And if you can't do it, don't cut a promo.
You're
so
right.
I like it. I liked it. As a wrestling fan for almost 3 decades, I liked it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Earl, I want to thank you. We'll once we're off, we'll go off and bombard you over there. We won't do it DX style to WCW with the tanks, because we're gonna go full flush and we're gonna go bombard it and attack his Wrestling Inc. on Tuesday nights, because they called us a bunch of drunks and hungover. So we got war with them. My NXT warriors, we're gonna go after them. But no, we're gonna go there to support you, my friend. We won't do the invasion, but we'll be there.
Well, I appreciate you all, and you all are very passionate wrestling fans, and I like debating with you. I like debating people like you guys, because you absolutely bring everything to the table, and sometimes we're not perfect, but we try to do the best to deliver the goods. So, with all of that being said, I wish you all my sincere best with your podcast and everything else. And you just take care of yourself and each other. And I will be back in cyberspace in a few minutes with my show, The Wrestling Experience, with my guest, Christina Rivera. And we're going to have fun tonight on The Wrestling Experience.
Get over, my friend. Get over. You know how it goes.
I'm not putting you over, though.
I love you too.
All right. Thank you again, Earl. Appreciate you again, man. Thank you so much. That's Earl from the Wrestling Experience. He will be on a little bit. I want to hear his take. I want to see, because he never is critical. He does not get critical, and I want to hear his thought on that. Be interesting there. Speaking of promo, we get another promo backstage. Christian Cage accepts Jungle Boy's challenge for the match at All Out during the backstage promo. Christian Cage, again, it is summertime, and he's still wearing the freaking turtleneck.
Yeah.
For real.
I don't know why. I'm like, do you ever get hot in that thing? Or maybe it's just cold where they wrestle. Maybe Tony Khan just likes it cold. I don't know.
Maybe he's a pointy guy.
They have the AC on too much.
Yeah. He gets pointy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know I don't know what's going on.
Probably take somebody's eyeballs out. I mean, it's so damn cold over there, right, Pete?
So, yeah, this promo, I can't wait to see, because all this build up from the past weeks of Christian Cage and Jungle Boy, from almost running him over with the car and almost attacking Christian, but getting stopped by security. Hey, this is the conclusion. All Out. Christian Cage, Jungle Boy. Can't wait to see it.
Do we close the chapter there after that? Because here's the one thing I want to say: what the hell? We don't have any clarity where Luchasaurus stands in all this. 1 minute he's with Christian, the next minute we saw him not backing, but sticking away and standing next to Jungle Boy. When they have this match, it's going to be interesting to see where they do with Luchasaurus.
Yeah, that is true. We're really, I believe at All Out, we're going to find out, is Luchasaurus going to be sticking with either Christian, or is he going to stay with Jungle Boy? This is the conclusion. We hopefully will get a conclusion, because if they extend the storyline, I don't know, it's probably going to lead to something weird. I think that's all. If we do a little sidetrack here, there's another problem with AEW. They sometimes, the storyline goes a little bit too far, to where you had the point and then you missed it by extending it. I believe that's been a problem with AEW. They extend the storyline a little bit too far sometimes.
Well, don't forget, Luchasaurus joined Christian because his DoorDash didn't get home. So yeah.
Hey, this is All Out. Seems to be all custody battle. You got custody for Luchasaurus, custody for the Garcia. My goodness, custody for the women's title. So it's like, it's a custody battle. All AEW, all custody battle.
Yeah,
and that's what it seems like. But it is what it is. Again, if you wasn't force-fed enough promos, we get another promo from the undisputed champion, cutting a promo. We are, claiming that he's a pro wrestler, and the time is right. The time is now. Little John Cena mocking there.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Can you cut a promo without mentioning WWE? Go 10 minutes, or at least a show without mentioning WWE? That's how much you shook. I mean, golly. I mean, it's good to hear him, but
go ahead.
Yeah, when he was making his way off the camera, I was waiting for him to to go away from Gorilla Fishing, and then you hear the song, dun, 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 dun. I was waiting for it, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, that's it." I was like, "Ron John." Sorry.
At least one thing didn't happen with it. I thought he was gonna bleed. That it was a mad short when Moxley isn't even bleeding.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice he didn't bleed. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Yeah.
So I thought he was gonna bleed at the promo. I said, you know what? Here comes the blood.
Here, there's a lot of discrepancy. There's some discrepancy in his promo, actually, because especially when he said, he's saying that people are trying to write him off because of what he does. It's like, well, they write you off not because of you holding the championship. They write you off because of what you do outside the ring and inside the ring as well. Like, we write you off because you bleed every single match. Like, you get hit once and immediately you start bleeding. You get caught on camera blading yourself. You face wrestlers outside of AEW where you do a little bit of funny stuff over there. GCW, wink wink.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Yeah, apparently, and I like to kiss a lot of people too.
Yeah,
it's like
and with a happy ending with a cigarette.
Yeah, I guess. So they write you off not because of what you're doing. It's more of they write you off because of what you do outside and inside the ring. It's not what you do in real life. It's what you do in the ring that they write you off. It's like, if you can't accept the critique, you gotta go somewhere else, because if you can't deal with people immediately critiquing what you gotta do, it's like you're not really built for this business. Yeah. And I thought also he would have learned better in WWE. I thought he would have learned better for his time in WWE, but apparently not.
Yeah, for sure. And granted, I know Mick Foley wrestled in a different era with basically almost no internet, if not none at all. But like, seriously, because back in the day he used to be compared to Mick Foley a lot, Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. But like, for a guy that likes to portray this like hardcore mentality, the guy that can wrestle like, with so many things, like whether it's barbed wire, whatever. You think for a guy that betrays that type of gimmick, he'd like to stay away from the things we talked about, and try to, what was it called even? Expand your disbelief, But like I'm just saying, like, imagine Mick Foley was caught on TikTok back in the day, like kissing guys. Like, trust me, that hardcore gimmick would have been right out the window. We'd be like, Mick Foley, are you playing for the other team, or is there one for cover up? Like, what's happening here, bro? And that's exactly what our question is. Or Jon Moxley, I was like, bro, you're not hardcore, at least not with the girls, or in wrestling, you're hardcore with the guys, I guess. it's like I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to take him seriously as a champion. Like, he's really a meme right now. He's the guy that kisses guys on TikTok. He's the guy that apparently got in a match with CM Punk and broke his leg in 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm not even trying to, I want AEW to succeed, but with memes like that, it's kind of hard to take your champ seriously. No offense, but you got this one guy named MJF or Wardlow. I'm just saying they could make fine champions, but no, okay, that's fine. I get it. No.
Yeah, we'll see. Moxley now he continues. This is my take. Why Moxley? If Punk, if it's a work, I see as this. Jon Moxley gambled. He took a gamble. He put all his chips in to go to AEW to believe in this company. Given the faction that he was with, the Shield, they were main guys. They were made guys. All three. If he would have stood there, his wife had a cushy position in risking his wife's cushy position in WWE. And coming all into and believing in AEW, sticking with them, getting them over, and bringing in a different audience and delivering. I think he got rewarded tonight. If that's the case, if you see it, where you're not just an interim, you're not just a placeholder champion. We're gonna go with you. We're gonna make you the face, because this guy came in a year ago knowing that he might not stick around long enough. He might, not want to wake up tomorrow morning and say, I don't want to be wrestling no more. I want to go home to AJ Lee and go leave and walk. I know. And this guy reads, eats, breathes, and craps wrestling. When at least Moxley, like it or don't like it, we're an independent scene. He really wants to get in there, take the bumps with anyone. He'll wrestle a ham and egger if he has to, which you see in GCW, and so forth. So I think that's a way of rewarding him with that title. I think that's what happened with him going forward. I think that's what they rewarded him for believing in the product. That's kind of the Jerry Maguire, right. The one guy that walked away with Jerry and his client, and he's just going all out. Pete. So we finally get to the main event, which at this time, with all these shenanigans, all the cool down with the promos, then you saw Moxley again with back on our TVs. Like, we get a phenomenal main event, which kind of like got overshadowed a little, and it was for the qualification for the trios. Death Triangle taking on Will Ospreay and the Aussie Open. Now, it's the first time Pac and Will in a wrestling ring in a while. Last time it was a 30-minute draw. Pete, you're the New Japan resident here. I'm gonna anoint you that there when Aussie Open, and of course Heel, who loves lucha libre wrestling style wrestling. Boy, this
I like
match
New Japan too.
Dude.
Yeah,
yes.
I like lucha libre.
I know you do, but I associate you more with the lucha libre style.
I know.
Match that you like that. So take that and get over with that and be quiet. Now, Pete. I'm gonna give you the opening on this match here. What freaking in-ring chemistry and movement. I'm gonna leave you here because I know you salivate over the luchador style. Talk to me, Pete.
Well, first, let's actually go back to the entrance. Death Triangle, their entrance, whoo! Wow, that looked great, especially with the different colors, how they were all standing there. I was like, wow, this is nice. So, going through this match, it was not bad. We seeing all our little lucha angles from all the flips and all that stuff. That's Will Ospreay. Always doing that with his matches, all the flips and stuff. So it's not bad. Um, can we let's actually skip a little bit. Let's skip
Yeah, let's
all the
go
way
for it.
to the last part of the match. Now
Okay.
this was just like a bad ending, to be quite honest, because if we was just talking about this before, and before the show started, it took 30 seconds, and we timed it. It was 30 seconds for Pac to set himself up to do that moonsault into the outside. I was just like, to be quite honest, they would have already been inside the ring already by the time he would have already did the move, and it was just kind of weird. And you know, moves were very on par. It's just that that one part at the end, it kind of died out for the crowd. The crowd was just like, they were popping, oh, but it just took too long, to be quite honest. That little moment there, and we also got that little moment from Kip Saban, if I'm not mistaken, showed up this time without the box. Showed up without the box and delivered well, it looks like a final cutter to Pac, and then Aussie Open managed to get the win with that nice tag team maneuver. Managed to pick Ray Phoenix up and delivering the Oz cutter. But it was good matches. Just that ending kind of slowed everything down. What are your thoughts, Heel?
Yeah, like that triangle entrance was just amazing. I'm not gonna lie though, like it had me thinking of the Team Rocket entrance in Pokemon a little bit,
Spotlight.
yeah, yeah, like Pac, that's right. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it was pretty awesome. And the match itself though was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
The athleticism, the spots. I mean, everything was just amazing, and like it's a good thing this main event delivered, because if it didn't deliver,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, let's not talk about it. But anyway, yeah, everything was just fantastic, and yeah, maybe the ending could have been better, but I didn't mind it because I was so lost in how good this match is. You know what I mean? Like, and I am glad you pointed it out though. But let's be honest, they're playing 2K. All right, I know this is AEW, but they're playing 2K. They were stunned.
Yeah, they were stunned.
Yeah, they were stunned.
The meter didn't go down.
Yeah, it didn't go down in time. So yeah, I'll give them the pass on that. And yeah, I mean, I was actually fine with the finish, because I was like, I don't see any one of these two teams losing at this point. So the fact that they protected the Death Triangle, I was fine with it. And I would now, I'm not saying this is AEW's mistakes or like that. I'm just saying this is what I wish, because this is how good this match was. I wish they had like a second chance bracket now that I saw this match, because I want to see these two teams go at it, but this time for the title, the whole enchilada, as I would like to say. Because imagine this match with the gold on the line, and you give these two teams like an hour to go at it, man. Ooh, like no offense to Kenny Omega and Young Bucks, but I don't think they're gonna top this match.
No, not Omega. Not the way Omega looks.
Yeah.
Maybe if Omega was fully healthy, maybe. But yeah, I love this match. It was really good. Borderline amazing. I would say amazing if like maybe there was more of a story behind it, but just for like AEW type wrestling, it was amazing. And yeah, real Osprey. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of him when he first started because like it was kind of like that thing of like where is this character? What's his thing? But then he fits the New Japan style so well. He is growing on me a lot, and yeah, I just love this whole thing. I like how they won and everything like that. Ray Phoenix took a really like I wouldn't say really bad bump, but it was definitely a risky bump with his face hitting the mat, and I think also protected him well on it. Ending. I just love this whole thing. Like I said, I just wish there was a second chance bracket where we could see these guys possibly go at it again.
One of my favorite spot was Penta delivering the wicked crucifix bomb to Fletcher. Oh my God, that was phenomenal.
Was crazy.
That was just awesome. The right team won because you just don't want to have Will Ospreay just come off the G1s, fly all the way across to just lose this tournament one match, one and done. I'm glad we kind of knew, unfortunately, at Death Triangles a little there, but wait, the interference on the outside and causing Pac to not come in and help Lucha Brothers is understandable. Don't lose the heat on the Death Triangle, but I was okay with this, but I wish they would have placed it. I wish they would have, even if it was going to be a squash match with the interim title. And I know you're like, well, wait a minute. We know it's going to be. They don't know. I don't know if they knew it was going to be a 10-minute or whatever, 6 minutes. With introductions. But man, this would have been better in the crossover hour instead, because you're like, ooh, that match was phenomenal, because it kind of and you leave that mystery. Was it a work? Was it a shoot with the interim title? Did Punk just quit AEW or with the injury, kind of force a retirement? And it gets you like, ooh, I got to tune in next Thursday because I don't know what the hell happened here in the interim title stuff. And I think it got lost there, the placement of the match, the card. But I digress. This short tournament, got a little spicy because they did want to end it with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks coming out, cutting a promo. It was spicy there. Omega, isn't fully healthy, so he brought in his brother Kenny Omielda, and he came in to participate in there. Give us the promo there, Pete.
So, obviously, if people have been keeping up on Twitter, Ospreay and Omega, they do not like each other. They always trash each other on interviews, and especially on Twitter, especially for Ospreay, always trashing him on Twitter. So, for Kenny Omega saying to Will, especially when he said his time in New Japan, that he will never fill the shoes that he gave to Ospreay, it was just like, wow. Everybody was just like, oh man, that was crazy. So, for Kenny Omega to say that, I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. If I'm not mistaken, it's gonna happen at Rampage, if I'm not mistaken, correct? That the match.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken. No, next week.
Next week on Dynamite.
Yes, next week on Dynamite.
Next week on Dynamite, man. I don't know specifically if it's Will is just gonna really shoot on Kenny, but for them to have a lot of bad blood with each other, this is gonna be one hell of a match.
And I hope to be honest with you, I hope it sets them up. Kenny could get heel in time for Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome in Japan. That should be the match. Personally, I hope personally, I think he'll get appreciated more in New Japan wrestling. And yeah, I'm gonna be actually then in an AEW arena, even if it's all out in the States. I hope they do it in Japan when they do finally meet up. My opinion.
Yeah, they better be fully healthy too.
Right, and then we have one more segment. It's about where is this guy? A milk carton. Where is he? We haven't heard from him for months about this monster promo. Another guy that's just buried in the closet. Heel.
Where is he?
Where is he? Where?
Is he back there? Did Dexter Lunatus take him away? I mean,
apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, but wow, this Dynamite gave us more fuzziness for the hardcore wrestling fans. Anger, as you could saw Earl he's gonna rant in about a few more minutes about it, and it'll be interesting because we're gonna end to because I want to go hear his rant. I have more cloudiness, and I somewhere in Stanford or in Orlando Performance Center, there's a lot of smiles.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I'll say this: the winner of the Young Bucks and Ken Omega versus Will Ospreay's team,
Yes.
I think they're gonna win the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna let you finish the sentence. Yes. It's like the girl that's waiting to get proposed, and the guy gets on his knees, and she goes, yes. There's exactly.
Yeah. I think it's.
We don't have to point out the obvious here.
No, we don't have to point out the obvious.
Yeah, and another obvious thing is here. I think you can put it in the chat if you want to, Kev. Yeah, but another thing is here is man, if a few more things just were better, especially if that undisputed championship match delivered, this arguably would have been the best Dynamite of the year. Arguably, it's a shame that had to happen. But yeah. I'll be fair and give this Dynamite like a B-, C+ maybe. Yeah, I had to give it a letter grade.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I'd probably give it like a C, like a C+, B- around there. It was all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't anything I was going crazy for in my chair like that. If anything, I was just laughing at the CM Punk memes all day, and
definitely.
Yeah, and then I paid attention once the main event happened.
Mm-hmm. Let me write this to the chat here where you can find him.
Yeah.
Well, while we do that, let's review right now the AEW All Out card right now. Just let's review the card at least so we can see what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
Right now, there are 8 matches confirmed. Obviously the first whoever will be at the finals during the
tournament. If you're reviewing AEW though, that's a bad thing because that means this pay-per-view is probably going to go like 4 hours. I'm sorry, Pete.
There's 8 matches right now, and let's just let it be known right here on the podcast, the championship match is not confirmed yet for the AEW World Championship.
Correct.
So if it hasn't been confirmed yet, there's a possible 9. So there's 8 matches right now. There's Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns in the 6-man. We got Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Haruka Shida for the Fatal 4-Way. And for many who don't know, there's going to be the Casino Ladder match. The participants, that's to be decided right now at the moment. Next we have Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson. And next we have Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve versus the Acclaimed for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Next we also have Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy. Last but not least, we have Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
All right, you almost did it like Excalibur. It's got to be a little more quicker.
We don't want to go that fast, or we'll just fumble the words.
Oh, I remember the DraftKings plug he did though really fast as soon as
sponsored by DraftKings.
The Ray Phoenix and what was it, Raw Ospreay too. They're doing their little chain wrestling, and then he's like, "Oh my, this will be the last time we do this." That's just like going to play. That's the DraftKings, and oh my, and I was like, "Okay, dude, we get it, DraftKings."
Yeah, no, it is what it is. Let me ask you, Pete. I know where we're gonna be that night, that afternoon.
Oh, definitely.
Would you invest the $50 in that?
Oh, and the pay-per-view?
For Bleacher Report for All Out?
Yeah, I would like to watch it. Well, I would want to see the results, especially. I want to, watch it live, on TV to see who's gonna win. I mean, some of these, like if you look through the cards, some of these pretty obvious on who's gonna win, but just rather watch it for the entertainment, especially.
All right, we can see that there. I'm gonna, depending what time we get out of Worlds Collide, we'll probably come and catch the card halfway through. Normally I do those watch-alongs, but we're going to be live at the arena, so we won't be able to do it. But probably review it if the next day or whatever the case is. But I'm interested. I am because it's wrestling. I love wrestling. The pipe is even if it's a bad product. Like, hey, heck, I used to watch Hog Wild for WCW. And that was the most crappiest pay-per-view at WCW done year after year. I used to still watch it. For Sturgis.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, In Your House is talking to you.
In
Your House is talking to you.
Hey, Your House was a little lackluster too. It was like yeah. You're right, heel. But all in all, I thought Dynamite was enough to watch for those 2 hours. It wasn't the greatest. Yeah. All right, so we thank you guys. We'll end the podcast there on AEW review. We'll go over the wrestling experience. So check it out. Guys, stay backstage real quick for a moment. We'll run the intro. Guys, if you're down with us, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. And
subscribe.
Thank you for everyone for viewing, for the views, for the support. The Heel of the Ring Facebook group has gone over 500 strong and growing. Thank you, those that are watching. Keep it up. I try to put news, notes, anything new going on, photos, right on the Facebook page. You got a nice page Van Felt there. Whatever, I get tongue twisted with her name. A nice picture there, Tony Storm. You also have Ric Flair pictures. You got everything, news and notes. Take it out. Share, like us. We can catch us on the audio platform. And of course, guys, get over. Do not let life pin you. You get over. You pin the situation. And of course, man, may the sports be with you. And we'll be back with the SmackDown review. Take care, guys.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things. Realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me